this is going to be a spoiler-free review, so you won't be getting much out of us, but we will give you a rough feel of how the episode, I guess, goes. I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it, Michael?
I loved it. I cannot tell you how much. Like towards the end of season 8, it was definitely getting better. Than I enjoyed the end of season 8 a lot more than the start of it, crossover aside. But season 9 really felt to me like the Flash of old, and I go on about this all the time, and that I just want the show to have that like heart that it used to have. And I know every show loses at some point, but this definitely felt like it reminded me of how Arrow's final season started. The episodes are nothing alike, but it just felt like Arrow had found itself again in its final season, and now it feels like the Flash has found itself again in its final season. We cannot go into plot details, but one thing I know that you and me definitely will connect on, Sabrina, is that the amount of West Allen in it is an absolute joy to say, and to see them at the forefront of an episode was by far my favorite thing about it.
Well, I mean, that's interesting though, because if we're going back to basics was the West Allen relationship and how much it is a part of Barry's journey as a superhero. I find it, I don't know if it's a little too late to be exploring a part of their relationship that has been a problem for them over the entire series. What with because for those who've been waiting for like Barry who'd do anything for Iris, including mess things up, that is what's happening with Barry and Iris in this episode. A lot of it has to do with the way in which he, gets scared of the unknown, and she very much embraces the unknown as much as she can because of how tied together their lives are. She wants to be surprised by life, and he'd rather, know everything, and she'd rather not.
It's very much like who they are as people, and then what really I love just their one-on-one scenes, because you get to see how much they've grown as characters, but at the same time, those core characters we started with are still fundamentally there. And it feels to me like such an authentic exploration. My only issue is that it kind of feels like it's a little late in the game, but I'm glad they're doing it now in general, because we've craved this for the last 3 or 4 seasons. And it's just, I'm not going to like say it does a disservice to anyone, because it's a wonderful dynamic between the two of them. And I have to say, there are 2 back-to-back scenes, I'll not get into it, but where Grant and Candace deliver some absolutely incredible work, and you can tell their hearts are so into this performances, this episode, and perhaps the storyline. I can't wait to see where it goes with it, but I felt those performances. And when you get used to people delivering, sometimes you don't feel it as much, but they give it everything in those scenes, and that they were passionate about what they were doing, and that they bounced so well off each other, and I can't wait for everyone to see them.
Yeah, because it's a married couple going through something together and trying to solve it in different ways, and not being able to mesh their ideas of how their lives should move forward. I really enjoyed that aspect of the West Allen storyline, and I do feel like it's like the thing that they're struggling with is something that you would have thought they would have worked through in like season 3.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that we are at least working through it in the final season. And I do like the setup for this episode. We can say it's a Groundhog Day episode. So we are going through the same thing over and over and over and over again. And trying to, what's the definition of insanity, is doing the same thing over and over again and thinking there's going to be a new solution. I think that was it's a great point of entry for Flash season 9.
Isn't it kind of ironic that right now when we're filming this, it's Groundhog Day? I didn't know until this morning.
Oh man, the irony.
That was probably like everyone was like, "Where did Reed go?" And he just comes in and is like, "It's Groundhog Day."
You were waiting for your big moment.
I'm the voice of the people. I didn't watch, so I'm like soaking in I didn't watch yet, so I'm soaking in the review. I do have a question. So I don't know if you guys can answer this, but you can be as vague as you want. Does the episode kind of set up an endgame season-long story arc? I'll take that as a not really.
Let's just say this follows the format of every season premiere, in that there is very much a story at hand, but you can see the beginnings of a story going forward, if that makes sense. I try to be as vague as possible with that. we'll leave it at that. But I would do, on Sabrina's point a minute ago, I do want to say that this episode is so much fun. And I think that's one of my favorite things about it, because The Flash used to be so much fun. And when you get like roped into a lot of the season long storylines, or the we've done this 8 times before, it can get a little repetitive. This felt fresh for me, and I think that was just because Barry and Iris were at the heart of it. And you should not be saying that about your core couple 9 seasons in, but they were at the heart of it, and that's why it felt fresh. And I'm glad they finally getting the attention they deserve, both as separate people but also as a unit, because a lot of their best moments have happened off screen, and now we actually get to see them living that life. And it's just, as far as like the procedural adventure of the week goes, it's a great opener. It's a lot of fun. And I have to say, I'm more excited about season 9 than I've been excited for a Flash season in a very long time. I feel like this is going to be a big one. We knew that before the episode, but I can definitely double down on it as after seeing the episode. I can't wait to see what season 9 holds.
Same. To answer your question, Reed, it doesn't set up the whole thing for the season for this show, but it does for West Allen. You definitely know how their relationship is going to be as you move forward. And I think fans will appreciate where they land by the end of the premiere. I also want to people should contain their expectations for West Allen. It's more than we typically get with them, but it's not what everyone was hoping for as far throughout the entire series, if that makes sense. Like, if they're in a great spot for where they're going to be moving through the season, but I think anyone who has been like daydreaming about how they wanted West Allen to wrap up, it makes sense for where they've been written so far. So keep the bar not low, but like manage the bar. Yeah, I think so, because I think people do have high expectations for where they have, because it's the thing that they've been holding on to for the entire series, for what they would like West Island to be. And time again, each season tells you you're not going to get what you want from them, but you can get something really special.
I think that's the important thing to take away from this. I think as far as every box that can be ticked for a season premiere, it ticks it, because it's a good starting point. There is definitely work to be done. There is definitely room to grow. But I think it's done it so well that I'm excited for it. I don't feel like this needs to do that, or this should have done that. I left that season premiere feeling very satisfied. Yes, there's so much I want to see in the season. And yes, fans need to understand they're not going to get all of that in the first episode. But I do think that as a Flash fan, as a West Allen fan, and just a fan of the Arrowverse, I'm very satisfied where the season premiere could take the rest of the season, and I hope it does do that.
Reinvigorated the desire to see season 9 for sure. We were scared, but I feel very sure about it.